Magandang araw po ulit sa inyong lahat. I'm Ernie.
And I'm Bing. Welcome to part 2 of our life insurance series here on FILAM Civic Action.
Very interesting topics that we'll be discussing today. Last time, we learned the basics. Today, we're diving deeper. Advanced strategies, living benefits, and answering your frequently asked questions.
Right, Ernie, but before we proceed, let us introduce our guests, and I will give them the freedom to talk about themselves. Let's start with John.
Hi.
Hi, John.
Bing
Hi, John.
and Ernie. Thank you for having us here. So, I started this industry when I was 21 years old, actually, and it was by accident, I guess. My one of my uncle, I call him Uncle Ben, but he's not really my uncle. You know, in the Filipino, right, we call everybody uncle
Tito.
and auntie.
Tito.
Yeah. So he keeps coming over to our house, asking my mom to check out, this industry, right? Because my mom was a teacher in Washington D.C. at that time. So he kept coming over, and my mom is always like, "I'm busy. I don't have time for anything like that," right? Until one day, my uncle came over to our house with a Michael Kors sweater. And then he came up to me. He was like, "John, I see something in you. You could be a leader in our company." I was like, "Me, leader?" I'm looking for a job because at that time I was finishing up school in Maryland, and so I told them, "You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go check it out, but I'm not sure." So I visited the office in Rockville, Maryland that time, and after seeing all this information that was presented, it amazed me that this concept, not a lot of people know it. So there's a huge I saw the huge opportunity, and that's why I jumped into the industry. Little do I know that 11 years now from that point we would be expanding nationwide, educating people about the concept of life insurance you don't have to die to use.
Wow.
That's pretty much how I got started.
That was very
Nice.
prophetic of your uncle, huh?
Yeah.
Thank you, Tito.
And also, John, you graduated with honors, right? From college?
Honors. I honor
Honors.
honor.
That's what I thought. You did really well. And our guests today, Bing.
How about Irene?
They are a husband and wife team.
Yes, I know.
Now,
I know.
the wife happens to be really beautiful too. There she is.
Yes.
And also an achiever, very knowledgeable about the
Industry.
product that they're selling right now, the life insurance. And her name is Irene Wang. Irene, would you like to expound on your achievements, Irene?
Yes.
Thank you. I'm shy. So actually, I started when I was in college. I was the president of a Chinese student association.
Oh.
Yes. I graduated from George Mason University. So
Awesome.
back then, right, as the president of a student organization, you are helping students with resources, right? One of the officers actually approached me, right? She's my friend too. She's like, "I think this industry needs your help." And I was like, "Industry needs my help? What industry?" Right? My background was criminology and psychology. I was trying to become some super cop, right? Watch too much TV.
Jet Li and Jackie Chan.
Yeah, watch too much
Bruce
TV.
Lee.
So that was what I was gonna do, and in fact, I actually interned, at the local
Right.
police department.
Wow.
That's what I was gonna do. I was like, finance. I don't know anything about finance, right? So I was like, you know what? It's my friend, it's my officer, and she said the community needs my help, and I believe right. There's always something out there we don't know. So I
Correct.
gave it the
Yeah.
benefit of the doubt, and actually went to an opportunity seminar, and long before you know it, actually my family was looking for life insurance at time, right? And the concept really struck me because I'm Chinese, right?
Yeah.
I'm from China.
Are you sure you're not
I thought
Filipino?
you're
I am not. 100% Chinese.
She's part Filipino now.
She's so
You're
Filipino
Filipina
now.
now.
The hello
yeah,
has gone
Filipina.
into me. Yeah. So yeah. So Chinese, we believe in passing legacies, leaving legacies to our children, right? So and life insurance is one way to pass your legacy behind, right? Because you might be great at what you do, but not for maybe not your kids. So the concept really struck me, and I introduced it to my parents, and my parents actually was like, you know what, this is great. So that's how I started with the company, right? It's just a part-time, and before you know it, I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't think I'm going to become a super cop anymore. I think I'm going to do this full time, right? She didn't take it very well in the beginning, but over the years, she has seen both of us grew, and we actually met in the company working together. And now she's very supportive, both my mom and my dad, right? And they actually are part of our business as well. So, I love that, right? You can make it about family business.
Correct.
Great.
Yes.
Well, thank you for sharing. Now, this episode will dig deeper into life insurance, advanced strategies, living benefits, and answering some of the FAQs from our viewers.
Yeah.
Now, let's start with Irene. What are riders, Irene? Riders,
So-
like a bus rider or something?
Yeah, so riders, they're actually customization to a life insurance policy that lets you design it and tailor it based on your life and your needs, right? Think of them like a safety net, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say if you have the critical illness rider, if you suffer a chronic, if you suffer a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, you can actually access through this rider the death benefits, right, while you're still alive, making it a life insurance you don't have to die to use. And that lump sum of cash that you get to access from the policy is actually tax-free, helping you not just with medical debts and whatever needs that you have, right? So that it's very powerful tools, and there's many riders out there, but this is just one of them. You can have tax-free retirement as well. So yeah, they're very powerful tools that you can definitely leverage to build your financial future.
That is so
I see.
awesome, really interesting. And I know
Yeah.
that we talked about this last week, John. I know you mentioned it also, but really, what kind of life insurance is that that you can use while you're still alive again? Or was it like a term life insurance versus the whole life insurance?
So, see, the good thing about with the policies that we offer is that either term or a permanent life insurance has what we call living benefits. So we're redefining life insurance because the traditional way of life insurance, you can only use it when someone die.
When you're dead, when
When
you're
you're-
dead,
oh, you cannot really
that's
use
when
it.
you
You
can
using it, your beneficiaries using it.
Exactly.
You use it when you're
Right.
dead.
But with this one, it's life insurance you don't have to die to use because of the living benefits. So it's not living benefits anymore.
It's not living.
It's
Okay.
living now.
Right.
Okay.
It's living.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
So with this life insurance policy, right, with term or permanent, any type of permanent policy, you could have this living benefits. And the good thing about this is that piggyback on the rider question for Irene. See, these riders, the living benefits riders, there are companies out there that actually give you those riders for free.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
really?
Right? So, for an example, right, one of the companies that we work with, they offer chronic, terminal, critical illness, critical injury, and they just added Alzheimer recently.
So awesome.
Oh, really?
All included into the policy itself.
So how many
So how does it
companies?
work, right? I
How
like
many
that.
companies are you working with?
So,
yeah, let's go there.
Oh,
as,
you were
as,
gonna
a,
ask that.
as a broker, we represent different companies,
Okay.
A-rated companies, and that's what, depending on what the client needs, right? Because at the end of the day, it's based on suitability and for affordability. So whatever the client needs, that's what we offer, right? If they need a term life insurance policy, we apply for a term. If they need a permanent, we apply for permanent. And one more thing about riders, right?
Yeah.
We actually, one of the companies that we work with created this rider where you can have both term and permanent combined into one policy.
Okay.
Because sometimes you have a client after using the dime method. I'm not sure if you guys remember the dime method.
Time, yeah.
Dime, not the dime
The
method.
debt. I remember the debt, utang,
Mortgage
right?
and education.
Utang. Buti ka naalala mo yung utang. Yung iba, nakakalimutan nila yun. Joke.
Dalawa lang. The last one, the education, right?
Mortgage ang M. Ang I is, ano yung I?
Income.
Yeah.
Income. That
Yeah.
was the missing one.
Yeah.
So let's say, I run the dime method, right? And then after running the dime method, the client obviously needs minimum $1 million, right? But of course, not everybody could afford let's say a permanent 1 million life insurance policy. So instead of doing pure 1 million, you can add what we call like a term rider, where you can have a $500,000 permanent and then a $500,000 term in the same policy.
Oh.
Right? And what it will do is it will give you that protection for the next 10, 20, 30 years that you need
Wow.
at a lower cost. And those terms are convertible without any medical exam in the future.
So, John, what do you mean by convertible? So, from life, you can convert it to term, or
It's the other way around. So,
okay.
so let's say the same example, $1 million, 500,000 permanent, 500,000 term. So let's say the 500,000 term is a 30-year term.
Okay.
So with that 30 years, 500,000, you have up to 20 years to convert it into a permanent life insurance policy.
Okay.
Without any medical, checkup or anything like that in the future. So it guarantees insurability.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's no cost involved. You won't pay additional.
So of course it
premiums.
would be based off your age at the time
Okay.
of conversion.
Okay.
It
Right.
hurts.
Yeah, but the good
does
thing about
entail costs if you convert it,
Yes.
right?
The good thing is you don't have to requalify. That's one of the
Okay.
problems. Because
Okay.
people sometimes when they finally realize life insurance is important, is they can no longer have it because of existing health conditions. So
Right.
that's,
Right.
yeah.
Well, on another note, so talking about Filipino American life or experience in the United States, how can life insurance address unique needs in the Filipino American community?
Irene.
Yes.
There's a lot of people, right? I know that they work in America, but they have families back home in the Philippines, right? So they
Right,
send
right.
money to the family every month.
Every day.
Not really that too much.
Okay, I did not
Maybe
know
once
that.
a month. Yeah.
No, the different people,
Yes,
of course,
yes,
send
of
money
course.
every day.
Yeah, so while they're working hard in America, right? Obviously for better opportunities here. That's why they
Right.
came and they leave their families behind and they came all the way here in America. So what happens, right, when they can no longer work? So that means there's no more income coming in. So with the life insurance, you don't have to die to use. You can actually access the cash, the death benefit while you're still alive, right? And when you don't work anymore, that's actually when you need help the most.
Right.
So do you have to be sick for you to be able to
Get some.
use it?
So not necessarily. So we have different riders, right? Going back to the riders,
Okay.
we have something called the lifetime income benefit rider options that you can use. So even you don't get sick, you don't die, right? You do have to retire at some point. So when you do retire, you can actually access the policy. They will pay you at your choice every year, right? And until you pass away and up to age 120, so that's very powerful because while you might not work anymore, you still need income, and you're sick, you're vulnerable, but your family back home, they still gotta eat, they still
Yeah,
gotta survive,
right.
so that is like guaranteeing your financial security. You don't
Yes.
have to worry about it, giving you the peace of mind to live. You can continue to work hard, but if something do happen, life insurance got you.
Right. Well, I have a burning question here.
Burning. Huh?
Being a Filipino American, can I have my beneficiary be living in the Philippines, a non-U.S. citizen, or the beneficiary have to be an American
Hey,
citizen?
John.
So
Yeah.
it's ideal for someone to be here in the U.S. as
Okay.
your beneficiary, but there are some cases where you could have your beneficiary in the Philippines,
Okay.
but they have to have a bank account,
I see.
right? That is
Yeah,
in
they
the
have to
US.
come to America to claim the money. So if they have no problem getting visa to come here and they can establish a bank account, you can designate your beneficiary to someone that's overseas. That's perfectly fine.
But again,
Okay.
different companies have different rules, right?
Yes.
I see,
So-
I see.
Yes.
Have you had any experience having a client whose beneficiary is in the Philippines, a non-U.S. citizen?
So most of the time, non-citizen, yes, but most of the time, when we have clients and they want to have their beneficiary, let's say they have a kid in the Philippines or
Correct.
whatever, right? So most of them, they have someone that they trust in the
Okay.
United States that they set as a beneficiary, so that in case something happens, they will take care of those people in the Philippines.
Right.
Interesting topics.
Right, because it's so hard to get a visa if you're in the Philippines
Oh, yeah.
and you don't have a sponsor who will invite you to come here. Then it's better to have somebody who is here in the U.S. to be the beneficiary and have some kind of trust, maybe.
Or just
for
an
the-
agreement. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Very interesting answers.
Yes.
And interesting questions also. And our guests are very knowledgeable, being as you can see.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Actually,
Yeah. So
Attorney Bing, before you,
Yes.
go on to the next question, can I add something on the
Sure, yes,
Filipino?
please. Go ahead.
The
Filipino
Filipino
American experience. Yeah.
yes, because my wife is Chinese,
Chinese.
right?
I know.
So I think I'd like to share with the with the viewers online about, because me myself, I'm Filipino, right?
Correct.
I moved to America when I was 14, 15 years old. And I know a lot of people can relate to that. My mom petitioned us. She was a teacher. That's why we were able to get to the U.S. And the reason why this concept or this life insurance you don't have to die to use is very, very important, especially when it comes to the Filipino Americans, is that a lot of us, we moved to America for better opportunity.
of course.
Just like myself, right? To live that American dream. And sometimes, a lot of people, it's not what they expect. When I was in the Philippines, I was expecting, like, when we get to America someday, it's gonna be easy, right?
Yep.
It's gonna be much, much better, because living in the Philippines is hard.
Misconception.
Correct,
right?
Yeah.
People
then-
in the Philippines think that money is, you pick money on the side of the streets.
Right,
They grow on
exactly.
apples.
It's like, but
you just
you're
pick them
earning-
from the trees.
Yeah, they say, but you're earning dollars.
Yeah. But we spend dollars too.
Exactly. The cost of living is so much more over here in the U.S., right?
That's true.
So oftentimes I see, that people are working so hard, right? Especially in the Filipino community. I know people working like 2, 3, 4 jobs just to get by.
True.
I know
Correct.
some of them working like 60, 100 hours a week just to get by.
Oh yeah.
Right.
The last thing you want is, getting sick or, God forbid, passing away. What's going to happen to the rest of your family?
Yeah. To our listeners, pay attention to what he's saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right there, it's very important.
And I've seen
Yeah.
it happen so many times, Ernie and Bing. Actually, myself, and I want to share this to everybody here.
Yes.
Last year, I almost died.
Yes.
You know,
I
some of-
saw. I heard about
know
that.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to share with you guys the details, to keep it short and simple. But to make the story short, when I got to the hospital, I had an operation, and the doctor told me that it's a miracle that I survived, because majority of people that had that incident, they would have died like within if they were 5 minutes late.
Ooh.
So afterwards, right? I mean, I had health insurance, but health insurance only covers what? Medical bills, and you still got all these deductibles and
right.
stuff. But I was thinking to myself, what if I didn't have this business that I have? Because I couldn't work for like 6 to 8 months.
Wow.
So in that 6 to 8 months, if I had a regular job, what would happen?
Correct. You
I-
would have been
family
out
would be
of job
struggling.
anyway. Yeah.
Right. So that's when I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, imagine all these hardworking people that are working 60 to 80 and 100 hours a week. What if something happens to them? What's going to happen to the rest of the family?
That's true.
Right.
So let's do a lightning round now, okay?
Yeah.
Quick answers to common questions. Just,
Without even thinking.
It's,
Let's
yeah,
No, no
just
thinking.
say
So I
the
just,
answer.
but you are looking good now, John, though. You're doing well.
thank
Yes.
you, thank you.
So let's do the lightning round.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yeah.
How much coverage do I need? Irene.
So it depends, right?
Lightning.
So it doesn't. It's not a one size fits all question like a product. So it all depends on what you need. Some
Okay,
people.
so it depends.
Yeah. So
10x.
So,
I say 10x of your income.
yeah.
that's
So
right.
five to at least
Oh,
10 to
no.
15 times your income
10.
because
Okay.
while something happens to you, you're gonna make sure life continues. So 10,
Right.
15 times it's like minimum. If some of you are younger, I say 40 times, right?
40 times.
Yes. Actually,
Okay.
if you're in your 20s, you can qualify for up to 40 times your income.
Oh, so there's a limit if you're
So
young. Yeah.
Yes.
what if I have a pre-existing condition though, like laziness? No, I'm just joking.
Then I don't know. You might have to.
Magic pill.
John, yeah. John, what if I
John.
have a pre-existing condition?
Oh, okay. So now you're serious about the question,
Yeah,
right?
about the question,
Not like
yeah.
laziness, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have a pre-existing condition, then you might not qualify.
Oops.
But we do
Okay.
have other options for you, such as final expense, and depends on the pre-existing condition. I had
Okay.
people with like diabetes.
Diabetes, yeah.
Like the Filipino favorites, right? The high blood pressure.
Yes.
All those things.
Hypertension.
Hypertension. So if it's maintained, most of the time I get the clients approve. But if it was, if your diabetes is like crazy or your high blood pressure is not maintained, then you might not get qualified for
I
it.
see.
That's why it's very, very important to apply when you still can get approved.
Okay.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Next, this is quick question.
Okay,
Can I
quick.
name a minor as a beneficiary? Irene.
So, what was your question? Sorry.
Can I name a minor?
Yes,
as a
absolutely,
beneficiary?
you can.
Yeah.
We also always recommend, establishing maybe a trust or someone that's trusted to help the minor as a beneficiary because you do want the minor have access to those funds when the minor needs it later down the road, right?
Oh,
I see. I have a follow-up question. Does the beneficiary have to be related to the insured or not necessarily?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, as long as there's an insurable interest,
Okay.
then you could name them as a
Yeah.
beneficiary.
Bing, I
Okay.
don't know if you know my address.
Let me think about it. I'll sleep on
Yeah,
it.
Bing.
Okay, my date of birth.
You wanna adopt us?
Give me your
You know?
I'll be honest with you when it comes to my age this time. So let's go to red flags and final advices
Yes.
now on this one. So what should we avoid?
So, while you're shopping for life insurance, right, it's important that you speak with someone that's knowledgeable, especially with the experiences, right? A financial professional. But it's also good to work with a reputable company. So, that's what I recommend people always look for. And you want someone that has the best interest in you, right? That wants to help you. It's we call this in this industry mission before commission, right? That's
Okay.
very important. So when we meet with someone, we always try to what would we do if we are in their situation. So
True.
I would that's what I would look for. Someone that is truly interested in helping you because when you meet a client, you're gonna have a lifelong relationship with them.
True,
So that's why it's good to work with someone that's young. We're gonna stick around for a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
So,
How about you, John?
Thank you. How about you, John?
I would say, in the Filipino community, one thing I notice is a lot of people likes to procrastinate, right? So
Correct,
that's one
yeah.
thing that you want to avoid. Procrastination. Some of them would say, "Oh, I think I'm too young for this," or maybe next week, and then, you never know what's tomorrow's gonna be.
Right.
And you need to be prepared, especially if you have kids. You like what I said earlier, you came here to live that American dream, and one unexpected event like what happened to me last year could wipe up all your savings, right, could ruin everything that's ahead of you. So having a protection and not procrastinate in it is very, very important. I had times where people procrastinate so much that they missed out.
Right.
They weren't able
Absolutely.
to get
Yeah.
that living benefits, life insurance.
Well, this episode was packed with helpful tips. John and Irene, how can we get hold of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, do you have any website or any information regarding the two of you? Because for sure
Yes.
there are a lot
of
of
our
listeners
listeners
out
and
there
viewers, yeah.
who want to be agents and be part of your business too.
Yes.
Just like me, I'm interested now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
can you share
yeah.
your website, your phone numbers?
Yes, first and foremost, I want to thank, of course, our major sponsor, right, Dr. Philip Palerasio, for
Yay.
having us here, and of course you, Bing and Ernie. You guys are so much fun. I hope
Thank
you
you.
guys invite us again. Okay.
No, we will. When the opportunity
We will.
comes, we will.
We'll interview
invite you
your
again.
mom this next time.
Yes, but as for getting a hold of us, actually we do have location nationwide, different offices. But if you wanna speak with the professional to guide you and set up all these things, and no obligation, by the way, it's free consultation. You could schedule it through www.calendly.com/John Domingo.
What was it again?
Can you repeat that?
www.calendly
Spell
with the
it.
spell it
Maybe
out.
spell it.
CALENDY.com.
Calendly. Yeah,
Calendly.
okay.
Oh,
Wait, I think
DLY,
it-
sorry.
So I think
Okay,
it's
so-
www.calendar.
No, why?
Why?
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
You
you.
just like what you mentioned earlier, John, life is very fleeting. It can happen to you and it's just an instant, right? And life insurance is not just paperwork. It is not just paperwork. It's love in action, and it's part of our legacy.
And to our listeners, start with conversation today. Secure your future.
And again, thank you, John and Irene. And of course, we have a big shout out to our major sponsor, Dr. Filipino Palerasio of the Dental Center of Nevada. Thank you for believing in community education, Doc, and thank you for believing in us.
Thank you, Doc
And,
Philip.
thank you. Mabuhay ka, Doc.
So, this is FILAM Civic Action. Hanggang sa muli, ingat and stay tuned.
Maraming salamat po, John and Irene. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Salamat.
John and Irene.